Today's job, changing the rear brake pads on a 2019 VW Crafter long wheelbase 177 Auto with 26,000 miles on it. The front brake pads were changed about 500 miles ago. The rear pads have just started squeaking, but they've still got, I'll probably show you better when I take them out. They've still got plenty of life left in them. This is the brake wear sensor, which hasn't activated because it's still got lots left on them. So to do it, I ordered the genuine VW Crafter brake pad set, part number there, which comes with the clip set in the box, all part of the original part number, and a new brake wear sensor, part number there. So first job is obviously removing the wheel, clean the face of the hub off for when you put the wheel back. For that I just used a wire brush. And next I'm going to remove the brake caliper, and for that there are two sliders that are held in with a 13mm bolt. However, when you turn the 13mm bolt, it turns the whole thing around, which won't release it. So for that you need a 19mm spanner to hold onto the square face, and then you can rotate and undo. Okay, so once the nuts are out, sorry, the bolts are out, that releases the brake caliper. You discard these. You see they've got Loctite on them. You discard those because in the kit there are four more. There's four in there, there's one under there. Four more to replace. These are single time use only. And then you remove the caliper. To do that, I'm just going to prise it out like that. Top, bottom. It's released. Making sure obviously that the handbrake is removed first and that you're on axle stands before doing this, and then carefully remove the caliper. But I'm going to unplug the brake wear sensor first because it's threaded through the caliper there, and the caliper come out, and then the pads will come out to be replaced. Remove the plug for the brake wear sensor. The blue here is mimicking the connector on the chassis, and you've got to remove this plug here. So to do it, you pop a screwdriver into this area here and prise it up, and then it will release. So pop it in there, prise it up, and then that will release that. And then you can pull that across. And installation is the reverse. Just plug it in, you'll hear a click, and that's in. I'll show you how to fit that part in a second. So once the brake wear sensor has been unplugged, you can then remove the caliper. We're going to use a wind back tool to push the piston back in, because obviously as the pads wear thinner, the piston comes out and doesn't return all the way back as they get thinner. And now we're putting in brand new ones installing brand new ones, so they're going to be thicker, so the piston has to go back into its caliper there. Once the pads have been prized out, they come out. Oh, this is a lost one off that end, but they've got these retaining springs here. But in traditional sliders like this, there was no insert to them, so it was just the bare cast metal here that the pads would slide in and out of. So when you take them off normally, you would take a wire brush to them or take them off completely and clean them out to get the breakdown of crud out so the pads can slide on the sliders again. However, in this version of the Crafter, maybe other VW models as well, they have a clip-in slider, so a brand new slider, which also comes in the pin set. And what we do now is just remove that. That is the slider for the pad. You can also clean that out with a wire brush anyway, which I will do. And then in the kit, the bag of parts, you get new sliders and you get new retaining springs as well. I'll show you fitting those in a moment, but for now I'm just going to clean these out. What you'll notice when you take the pads out of the box is that all of the pads are identical, so they haven't got a specific orientation. Well, they've got an orientation, but they haven't got a position that they need to go in. So when you grab your first pad and your brake wear sensor, since we're doing the passenger side, near side first, you need to ensure that the cable routing is coming out of the top, so coming towards you with the text facing you, and the copper track there goes inside like that. Simple as that, just clips in. So that's the orientation. Now it's time to open the bag of parts and get the sliders out. Now, from memory, on the front, these are different dependent on which location they go in. However, on the rears here, it's obvious when you do the fronts as well where they fit. They'll only fit in one orientation. Now, with the rears, these all appear to be identical, so it's not going to be important as to which place these slot in. But the orientation is, so the fangs, as I call them, the fangs there are facing the outside of the caliper slider. So with the bag open, the clips open, and the fangs facing the rear of the vehicle, I'm going to slot it into there, and then these fangs go either side of the post there. Once they're in, push it down. And that's your slider in position. Same for the top and same for the inboard too as well. Now to install the retaining springs. Like that. And they sit in that little U shape there, sits in the lugs on the pads, and they push in from the inner side to the top, to the outside, just pushing gently like that. Quite hard with one hand. So you see it slotted in like that. And that's it. 2 per pad. Now to insert the pad. Now these spring clips here at the front here need pushing into the carrier first in that sort of angle and then rotating in. I'll try and do this with one hand. So there like that, and push in and slide in. And that's one install. Sealy brake wind back kit. Can't find a part number, but Google will help you there. It's tool lettered M. That fixes into the piston. Sits on wind back tool, which goes in there, and then you wind the piston back. So winding back the piston on the near side, passenger side, a couple of things to remember. First of all is when you wind them back, you rotate anti-clockwise. For this side, it's probably clockwise on the other side, but I will confirm that when I do that side. So there's the piston winding in now. You see the rubber compressing on the gaiter. Keep that tight. And the way it turns is the pins on the wind back tool locate, you can see one there now, locate in the piston to enable you to turn it round. Now those slots also have to line up with the pin in the pad, so the slots need to be, well, sort of at an angle like that on there, so that that pin sits in one of the slots. If it doesn't, it's going to apply pressure on the pad unevenly, and you're not going to get good braking efficiency, and you're going to wear your pads and probably discs out very quickly. So once the caliper piston is wound back in sufficiently, the caliper will slide over the pads once more, and now's the time that you fit the brake wear sensor. Otherwise you'll end up crashing that and crushing that in the caliper when you're trying to fit it. Tidy it up back round the bleed nipple plug cover, and then reconnect underneath as well. And now's time to get the two new caliper bolts out and install those, and then you're done on this side. Also, two ways of remembering it. One is that it always rotates towards the direction of motion, which is to the front of the van, and they also have an arrow just there. That's the direction to wind back in. So this one is clockwise, the near side was anti-clockwise.